put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome to Youth Wednesday on the Tobago Updates Morning Show. You're viewing us here live in Portmore, Scarborough, Tobago. Yes, this is 1 week after the recently concluded THA elections. I know, and congratulations goes out to all those who, the Today party that won, and Tobago by and large. I want to say a special good morning to all our ardent viewers wherever you're viewing us here this morning. And unfortunately, I'm not smack center in the middle of two beautiful ladies, but I have at my side this morning none other than...
I am Tanisha Cupid. Welcome, welcome. And you know, Dwayne, I am very excited because this morning we have a lot in store for our viewers.
Of course. But before we get into all of that, you know, a special good morning to all of you viewing us on whatever platform, whether it be on YouTube, AMPLIA, Digicel, and all the varying platforms, all the varying devices. In any part of the world, good morning. You know, this is an auspicious morning because this is Youth Wednesdays and we're here to bring you that youthful vigor, that youthful vibe, smack center in the middle of your busy week. So, you know, how was your week? How is your week going thus far? It's a pleasure to be hosting. My first time hosting with you, you know.
Yeah, this is the first time, and you know, I'm very excited about it.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to all the conversations that we'll be having this morning.
Yes.
Yeah, but before we go further, let's bring them up to speed.
Well, we have news?
We have news.
So we have news in 90 seconds.
So, here's what's making the news in 90 seconds for today, Wednesday, January 21st, 2026. Dion Rodriguez has been elected as the new Tobago officer of the Trinidad and Tobago Unified Teachers Association, tutor, following an election held on Tuesday, January 20th, which saw Rodriguez secure 328 votes. A mathematics teacher at Signal Hill Secondary School, Rodriguez is widely regarded for his dedication to education and student achievement. Parents and students have praised his work, citing strong academic results under his guidance and that of his teaching team. His election has been met with congratulations and well wishes from colleagues and members of the education community across Tobago. Up next, Minister of Infrastructure Jerlene John has confirmed the arrival of the MV Blue Harmony in TNT on Thursday, January 22nd, 2026. There's currently preparations to have the vessel added to the sea bridge, and they are being finalized. She has added that the agent for the vessel will be on island today, Wednesday 21st, to conduct necessary inspections at the Scarborough port. The MV Blue Harmony will make a 4.5-hour journey between both islands, replacing the MV Cabo Star, which took 6 hours. And finally, President Christine Carla Kangaloo has officially proclaimed the commencement of the Home Invasion, Self-Defense and Defense of Property Act 2025, according to legal notice number 16, published on Tuesday, 20th January 2026. All sections of the Act have been brought into operation effective immediately. This significant legislative move formalizes the protocols surrounding self-defense and the protection of property during home invasions within the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. These and other stories in our major newscast. Be viewing Tobago Updates Television, and that was your news in 90 seconds.
Right. Thank you, Miss Cupid, for news in 90 seconds. You know, we have to go straight over to our birthdays this morning.
That's right.
We have but a few. We have plenty, you know, but we have but a few in the chat this morning. Firstly, we have Gabby Kennedy. A happy birthday goes out to you. I love the fit. You look like somebody I know, but you're not that person. A happy birthday goes out to you. And who do we have next?
We also have the beautiful Miss Jillian Franklin, and we just want to wish you a happy birthday. We hope that today brings a lot of joy, and the entire year for that matter. Happy birthday to all those who are celebrating today.
All right, and for those of you who did not make it to our birthday list this morning, we still want to wish you a happy birthday, and I hope that you continue to enjoy your day. And you can always drop a piece of cake for TC and I, you know, and something to drink to wash it down. A happy birthday goes out to all of you. We have a rundown this morning.
That's right.
Right?
That's right. You would have mentioned, Dwayne, that we just concluded the hotly contested Tobago House of Assembly election. And we are going to have a youth commentator, an activist, and in Miss Janie Campbell. And she'll be here to speak with us on her views surrounding the recently concluded THA elections.
Yes.
And also, we have the lovely, energetic, and also busy Miss Abini Taylor. And you know, Abini Taylor, she's no stranger to any of us, the Tobago public, probably to Tobago Updates for that matter. But she'll be here in a whole new capacity.
Yes.
We can now call her author.
Yes.
Author Abini Taylor. She'll be speaking about the book, The True Story of Abini Taylor. And you don't want to move at all from Tobago Updates, because you want to hear all about this book and of course the opinions of Miss Janie Campbell.
All right, so guys, you know, that is what we have in store for you, you know. Right, today I hope that you you know, tune in. But before we tell them to share the live and go on the break, what has been happening in this space? I know that we came out from Christmas, we came out from election, and I think we're going into another festive season in the country.
Well, we're going into Carnival.
You jumping up, your costume yet?
No, I don't jump, you know, but I camping for sure.
Okay,
I don't jump, but I camping. But you know, things are heating up. We know that they have a lot of calypso tents. You see in the calypsos and
Panorama.
Panorama is happening. Pan is alive and well.
I live from I like the pan. I like the pan.
You like the pan, so you know that teams like pan size like Uptown Fascinators, they would have recently journeyed to Trinidad, and a lot has been going on in the pan arena. And that is something that we look forward to all the time.
I have a question for you. You think Tobago Updates got sent me to Trinidad to just, you know, cover some of these events?
Well, Tobago Updates, we're everywhere.
Pull you up in Hyatt for a night.
That's something like me thinking I plan to camp, but if it's the Hyatt, I might have to do some shifting around.
It could be before camp. It might be a week or two before camp. So, you know.
But nothing is off the table, you know. Nothing is off the table. I am ready and willing.
You think we should submit a proposal?
We could do that. We could. But why we can't do that?
Tobago Updates have been doing big things. You know, I want to thank them for the invitation to their Thanksgiving over the weekend. It was really fun-filled. We had a lot of gelling activities, we had a lot of food, we had a lot of fun, and a lot of photos. That's a lot of F's. You know,
a lot of F's? Photos?
Well, in terms of phonology, that is, right? The only...
So, I like how you just clarified that. You pull it back very well, very slick. I see what you did there.
I went to school too, you know.
I see what you did there, Dwayne. I see what you did. I appreciate it.
Yes.
And I'm sure the viewers appreciated it as well.
Certainly.
Yes.
So, that was really, really good. I didn't see you, but you know, next time, of course. Next time,
listen. No social event will be missing me next time.
Yes, good. Very good. So very good. So viewers, that is it for that's all we have in store for you. Just remember to
share the live, share the live.
You come in. Long time I see you, Joe. This station pumping. Ready. Ready for children party. Mommy! Jay, you can't go nowhere with these children. And you know you can't depend on Kevin neither Steven to see about them. Yeah, total waste. So I supposed to stay home whole time? Jada is 12. She could see about that. You just leave Jada to see about Kia and Kayla. I thought it was your mother or your sister. Who? Them always busy. Jada could handle that. She cooking and cleaning a long time. And the next two, better know what time it is. It's only me, you know. I will talk to my mother. She just home these days. She will make sure the children okay. Alright. Let me see the moves for later.
Before your Ramajé, make sure the children okay. Call 996 to report all child abuse now. A message from the Children's Authority of Trinidad and Tobago.
Our world is filled with rhythm. Rhythm that's unapologetic, infectious, timeless. Rhythm is commitment in action. It's how we show up for each other with unrelenting support that goes the distance. Rhythm lives in the tiny beats of our most intimate moments and the seismic roars of our biggest achievements. Rhythm is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the rhythm back. At Flow, we understand your rhythm because we live it. That's why we're dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You're at the heart of everything we do, and our commitment is to keep your rhythm flowing, no matter what.
Tobago, the sun is rising, and so are the conversations that matter, from the economy to education, from healthcare to community voices. No spin, no fluff, just facts, truth, and clarity. Join me, Lavian, as we cover the issues that shape our lives, the stories we can't ignore. We bring them to the table and ask the questions you want answered. Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago.
Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning again, Tobago. This is a live traffic report, courtesy Tobago Updates, and this is the Wilson Road traffic light. We are seeing the traffic is, building up, not at its peak just yet at 7:27 a.m. this morning. So this is our live traffic report. So those of you heading to work, this is just an update for you, so you can be able to navigate the island's roads as you traverse to work, school, and your busy schedule today. All right. So good morning again. We want to continue our interview this morning with Mr. Janae Campbell, a young activist in the People's National Movement, and she'll be coming to give her thoughts and insight and perspective as to the results coming from the recently concluded THA elections 2026. Good morning to you, Miss Campbell. How are you?
Good morning, Tobago. Good morning, Dwayne. I'm fine, thank you. And Tanisha.
Hi, Johnny. Morning.
You had to be from Roxbury, Trinity. You put your hair on the side. Well, you seem very comfortable in typical Johnny style. How are you doing? It's been a while.
Yes, it has been.
Yeah.
I'm quite well, thanks for asking.
All right, good. So, we are here to discuss with you your perspective based on the recently concluded THA elections. What are your thoughts in terms of its overall results and so on? Just share with us your thoughts.
Okay, so my thoughts on the election is that democracy is alive in Tobago, and it is very clear that the people of Tobago resoundingly support the Tobago People's Party. And so to some extent, it was not a surprise that the Tobago People's Party won the election. However, it was a bit shocking, the margin of victory. I'm not sure if any of you would have anticipated 15-0. So that was very shocking to me. But overall, I would still say that Tobago people won.
She probably got a call. All right, so we just lost Miss Campbell there. But based on what she was saying, Tanisha, what are your thoughts?
Dwayne, that was my follow-up question I wanted to ask her. did you expect that margin? Because she would have started and she would have said that, you know, that they were expecting like the persons to throw their support behind the TPP. But I wanted to find out if you were expecting that 15, because I know that 15 would have knocked the air out of some Tobagonians. We're like, 15, what on earth is happening? When I start to see the map turning blue, because at home I log into Tobago updates and I'm watching the thing and I say, but what is happening here? You know, so Johnny, we would have lost you there, but you're back. And so you were talking about that it was a bit surprising, and I think that was surprising for a lot of persons. The last time we saw sweep, it wasn't blue, it was in red. So continue sharing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. As I say, it was very shocking to me, but I always say change is the only constant in life, and sometimes tables reverse. So yes, in 2013, it was a clean sweep for the PNM, and now in 2026, it's the TPP's turn. And again, that's just the beauty of democracy.
All right. So going into the elections, you just a while ago you mentioned that you didn't anticipate such a large victory by the TPP. What was from your perspective? Can I say that you're representing the People's National Movement this morning, or you're just giving an independent view? I don't want to mix up the two. Either way, what was the expectation in terms of the outcome of the election from the PNM's perspective going into the elections? What are your thoughts?
Well, I cannot directly speak on the expected outcome coming from the People's National Movement because I am not a member of the executive. However, I always say I'm an avid supporter, so I could only give my independent view as a supporter and as a Tobagonian. I anticipated that there would have been at least a few seats that the People's National Movement could have gained. And I did not expect overall victory simply because I know that based on Tobagonians' track record, they generally give Tobago parties time. So I remember since 1980, it was not until 2001 the PNM actually got a chance to rule in Tobago after years of repeated defeat. And then after 2001, it was not until 2021 we actually saw a change in party. So when the TPP won the last election in 2021, I think the realists, and I would say that in quotation marks, kind of anticipated that the TPP would be here for some time, and that's my personal view.
Understood.
You know, Johnny, just shifting away from like the parties. A lot has been said about the voter turnout, right? At first, social media would have said, a lot of persons would have said, oh, 23%. I mean, after the EBC would have clarified that it was actually 50.69%. So it would have hovered just around what persons would say is the average, because we usually go between 50, we peak at the 59. However, what I want to say as a youth, right, and I think that you may agree, you can disagree too, but is the voter turnout particularly concerning to you?
So because we had regular numbers, I would say it's more or less the norm. But in terms of if it is concerning to me, I would like to say yes to some extent because we want that a lot of persons participate in the democracy and actually exercise their right to vote. I am always, pro exercising that right, especially when you look at the history of our universal suffrage. You would anticipate that more persons would be eager. However, I do posit that the voter turnout in Tobago sometimes is related to results. So the results of the THA in terms of what they were able to deliver, if people feel impressed to vote, if people feel that the options that are presented to them are viable. So there are those who avidly support the PNM and they will come out and vote, who avidly support the TPP. And then we know that in this country, third parties generally don't really put up a good fight. So then there are those who just opt to not vote because they don't feel like it matters to them. And so it is concerning. And I think each political party needs to capitalize on that and ensure that, more persons feel impressed and motivated to come out and vote.
As you said, more parties should capitalize on that and really encourage persons to vote. You have a platform, yeah, I take in your platform. Very nice. I always look forward to hearing what you have to say. And, I want to know how youths like yourself can use their platform to really encourage persons and educate persons to exercise that right, because as you said, it is an important right. Persons fought for this, persons lost their lives, to especially women. How can you speak to your generation? How can you use your platform to encourage and educate persons? Would it work?
I liked how you asked that question in the end. Would it work? All right. So there is a level of willingness on my part. I do not quote me on this, but I believe I have made a video already at some point in time encouraging persons to vote, and not for any political party specifically, because I don't believe in coercion, but just to encourage young persons. I think, speaking a language that young people could understand and, trying to educate them not in a mundane, boring way, but finding ways to capture their attention, but also focusing on youth-centered initiatives that they could look forward to from any party, or, just reflecting on youth initiatives and projects that they probably could have benefited from, because I feel like a lot of young persons, there is a lack of interest in politics, and because of that, they don't pay attention to necessarily all the ways they could benefit from the THA, and so they would assume that there aren't enough projects for them, and so they just feel disenchanted to vote. But if somebody takes the time to edify them and say, well, no, you could apply for this youth grant by this THA division, you could apply through this ministry and get this funding, and have you ever accessed this program? This was a program initiated by this party, that party, and this benefits you. So you kind of link the projects to how it actually benefits the individual young person. I think that in itself will give them a bit more motivation. But generally, the feel on the ground from young persons is that, politicians kind of just use tokenism. So, they will elevate a few young persons, and then the vast majority of young persons are kind of excluded from any real benefit. And so this is something that collaboratively the parties have to work on, so that content creators like me could actually come and defend them and say, you know what, still come out and vote.
Yeah, and I like that perspective. However, my question to you is, do you see that the young persons divorce themselves from tenets like governance and policy making, and how, because you mentioned it, that they don't see the real tangible benefits from participating in politics, right? And these are the tenets of politics as well. How does education, right? How do we garner the support of young persons to be a part to be a part of political organizations for self-development and so on? And do you think that young people still are interested in self-development? What are your thoughts?
I would say, like with everything, there might be a minority and majority. So you would find that increasingly there are a lot of young persons who are entering political spaces, and I noticed it for this election particularly. I know the People's National Movement had active youth arms, and especially for this election they utilize their youth arms to promote young people. I would say is a ripple effect, because when young persons start seeing other young persons coming to the forefront and speaking out, believe it or not, others are inspired to join, others are encouraged to actually actively listen and participate. And I also noticed that after the election, the TPP, they put out a flyer encouraging young persons to join their youth arm. And so I think utilizing the youth arms is an effective way. However, the youth arms need more visibility, and I would say that, well, I know the TPP youth arm is new, but at least for the People's National Movement, I think more young persons would be encouraged if the youth arm is not just used as a political tool around election, but the youth arms are active throughout
throughout the
the
years.
term.
Yeah.
They're actually doing philanthropic work, they're actually giving back to the community. People see them and say, yes, this is the youth arm of this and such party, and then a young person would be impressed to join, and the youth arm as well. For both parties, I would encourage to utilize the social media, because I mean that's the age we're living in. I wouldn't say that traditional media is not effective, but when we're reaching young persons, find creative ways, have challenges to edify persons. Young persons generally don't like some of the long videos, and even for me, I make my videos a bit long sometimes, and so an average young person mightn't watch it out. But if you find short snippets that are the bold, the dramatic, capture their attention effectively, and you break it up in parts to cover various topics that will be of interest to young persons, I think that will play a role in edifying them.
And we have but a short time, and going back to the victory, it raises some concerns as to oversight, accountability, and so on. And recently we also saw that the lower house would have passed the amendment to the bill to accommodate for more secretaries and divisions and so on. What are your thoughts as to what seamless accountability and participatory governance, tongue twister there, would look like going forward, so that this new regime is kept accountable by its people?
Well, we are the people, we are the voice, we have to hold them accountable. I don't want to quote another content creator, but I'm not sure if you are familiar, but she said she will be the opposition. Each of us have a role to play in paying attention to the politics of the day and holding the government accountable, specifically the THA in this case. And so, there are various voices that can be used to hold them accountable, whether it be your individual platforms. Because believe it or not, information carries. They see, they listen. There are also these civic societies, and I know that the chief secretary spoke a bit about involving these societies, these recognized groups, and having negotiations, consultations with them, and giving them non-voting power and so on. So I believe that once these things are actively exercised, I think that there will be some level of accountability. The media, Tobago updates, all have a part to play collectively in holding the THA accountable.
Yes.
What you said?
That's a big up updates, man.
Yeah.
So Johnny, we want to thank you for joining us this morning. Taking much time out of your busy. We know there's be busy, right? And I want to wish you all the best in your endeavors. I know you take your vitamins, drink your sea moss and thing, and I'm wishing you all the best, right? And happy new year to you, all right? And I hope I'll see you in camp. Anyway.
Thank you, Dwayne.
Have a good day.
So guys, this brings us to the end of this interview. Up next, we have Miss Abeni Taylor coming to share with us her new book, right? With all the loveliness of Abeni Taylor. So guys, just remember to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, where innovation meets excellence and the service reigns supreme. Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces. At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style. Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business. Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products. It's about relationships, it's about you. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
How it's gonna go. They better look up and look, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up and look. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show. More, live more.
The Caribbean is more than just a place. It's a spirit, resilient, vibrant, and full of possibility. It's who we are and the heart of everything we do. For over 150 years, we've been right here, invested in the Caribbean, its people, and its progress. And today, we're going even further. We're deepening our commitment to the region, continuing to invest in the networks, services, and digital solutions that move Caribbean businesses forward. Whether you are a mid-sized business or multinational player, we bring you resilient connectivity, personalized service, and tailored IT solutions, all powered by local teams that truly have your back. We're here to help you navigate challenges, grow, and achieve your goals with practical solutions, reliable networks, and a partnership rooted in trust and your long-term success. Liberty Business, rooted in the Caribbean, committed to you.
guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
So this is another traffic report, courtesy Tobago Updates. And this is coming from the Orkinscure roundabout all the way up to the Signal Hill traffic light heading east. Traffic is, picking up, as we could see there, looking like a trail of ants there this morning. So those of you heading to work, it might mean you need to get up a little bit earlier to help reduce traffic. We need to be responsible. We need to get to work on time, get to school on time. The children have to get to school for what, 7:30, 8:30? All right, good. So that is our traffic report, courtesy Tobago Updates. This morning we are continuing the discussion, another discussion with Miss Abeni Taylor. And she's certainly no stranger to us here on Tobago Updates and to you, our ardent viewers. This morning she's coming to discuss with her new book that will debut in a couple of days, or have debuted on social media recently and have garnered the support and much attention of her supporters and her fans. Good morning to you.
Good fans. Good morning. Buenos dias. Bonjour. Bonjour.
We're supposed to do that.
You know French and Spanish, so I know you can respond.
It's all right. All right.
I pull out 2008 memories there.
Okay, that's good. I appreciate that.
So we know you as Senorita Taylor. Yes, we know you in different ways.
Jack of all trades.
Oh, a Jenny of all trades?
Yeah. Yes, a Jenny.
Oh, Jacqueline.
Joking. Jacqueline. Yes. I like Jacqueline.
We stand corrected.
I like Jacqueline.
Right, so we sticking with that, Jacqueline of all trades. And this time, we have unlocked yet another one.
Yeah, boy.
Yes, yet another one. And we are speaking about the true story of Abeni Taylor.
Before TC takes this over, I think it would be remiss of me if I do be a bit facetious and ask you, this book, is it that there lies in the space about Miss Taylor? I don't know.
People assume things about you. People think they know more about you than you really know about yourself. So this book, this autobiographical book, it really, the main focus is to encourage someone to let you know you're not alone, eh?
Yeah. But
please note.
I want to know, plenty of people do their autobiography when they're dead. People that when they're dead, you say forget that.
Yes,
what is that?
Forget that.
Life and death is in the power. Yeah, 1821. So let me start to preach here. Good morning, brothers and sisters.
Yes. Say amen.
So, amen. So it's like we are all on this journey of life together, and so many persons face issues, they face challenges, they face good things, and it's just like to let people know you're not alone. And to encourage people not to carry their burdens, but I guess we'll get to that when they start to ask me other questions.
That's
because
right.
That's really the main focus.
Because I wanted to find out, how would you categorize this book? Would you categorize it inspiration or how would you categorize it? I know it's in Spanish and French.
It's una combinación de todo. So it's a combination of everything. It's a little bit of spiritual. Because if you look at the chapters, you have like childhood, you have spirituality, the athletes. Remember that was one point I was an athlete. Remember that?
I remember that. I remember that. Guys, I could have co-author.
Yeah, I find you probably need to be ahead of time.
I'm starting to believe that this is not a space for me this morning.
Oh gosh, no. TC knows me from secondary school.
I understand. I feel
why.
a little bit left out. You know, I just practicing the tenets of emotional intelligence, right?
Okay,
right,
I appreciate that.
that is important. That is important.
So in essence, this book encapsulates your life at different eras.
At different eras,
right?
Like some of the prominent parts with the celebratory parts where most people may see from social media or so, and also the parts where it was very dark.
Yeah.
Like it's like you think you're alone, but you're really not alone, you know, because those who are believers know that we are never alone. But it's also to encourage people. Like people, I remember one time somebody asked me, "You just have problems?" Boy, you what? If I does what?
Yeah,
but it's what you carry, cast your cares upon him, and I'm a firm believer of that.
Yeah,
so it's like to let people know that you're being encouraged to know that do not give up. And right at the point where they feel like when I'm break, that is exactly where the breakthrough is. So I'm telling you, it's a really encouraging book.
Yeah, and you know, you as much as we joke around about being the Jacqueline of all trades, but you've been doing a lot of good stuff in a lot of spheres of life. And you know, I can imagine that the fight down can be real. What motivated you to be so explicit in your about your life? You know, seemingly without any fear of judgment or you know, or ridicule. What gave you that impetus?
Don't give away chapter 8.
No, I will not. I will not. But let me let you know, I give so much credit to my primary school. Those of you who attended Scarborough Methodist Primary School in Picton Street, I'm talking about Calder Hall Methodist. I'm talking about Picton Street. The motto, the will does it. That resonates in me probably every single day, as in, I will do this, I will do that, I will not do it, I will not do that. There's so much power in that simple motto. Wow. And I give kudos, because at Scarborough Methodist as well, you had to do everything, eh?
Yes.
Because I was in choral speaking, I was in verse speaking, I sing calypso, I did in the choir, I did netball.
Papa,
everything. You need to put your hand in everything to see what you are good at. And if you are good at everything, why not continue?
Yes.
So I think that seed was planted since in primary school. And one thing I also focus on as an adult, what to give energy to, will manifest.
I want to know, we're talking about writing a book, you know, and you don't just wake up and you sit down. This is not an essay.
It's not.
This is a book. How long it took you to write this book?
I am someone, and I thank God for that, and I pray that He continues to cover me under that part. I would map things out in my head. Like we'll be talking here and I don't have something in my mind already. So when you have something in your mind, it's so easy to put it to paper. Sometimes you may not have the words, and there's where editors will come in to be like, well, you change the structure from this to that, etc. But to put things on paper for me is really like, I'm a teacher, so you kind of part of it, your everyday practice, and it's just shifting from the academic to what is really you. And when it's really your true story, it's easier.
Right.
Yes.
You know, I also, we saw some snippets we saw some snippets. Yeah, the tea is right. Hot tea. Yes.
I have not ashamed. Not ashamed.
Nothing cold in this book.
Nope.
But tell me something. When we read things like chapter 5, the love life.
Oh, my faith, yeah.
Yes. We have things like we have when we talk about betrayal, very open, very candid in the book. And did that take a lot for you to get into that space?
No.
She didn't answer so fast. She answered that question.
Yeah. Wow.
Sometimes I would have conversations with people, and I would be like, let me tell you something. I know what you're going through. I know how it feels to feel hurt. But if you want to move on, and if you want to grow, be intentional about it. And the people could be like, you went through that? Yeah. Normal. But whatever I give energy to will manifest. And if I don't give something energy, it will die eventually, you know. So that is what. So I would speak to persons like everyone. People could be like, you should write a book.
So you have it. You have it.
Thanks for the encouragement.
Yes, and there's so many people like, your life is a story, boy. You're fine. Because there's so many different aspects of my life. People don't know. Like when I was in UE, my whole name was Picante.
We know.
Everybody, some people know about Picante, and it's like, you're like that. So it's like, the book is
Picante to bring up this, need to bring us back to talk about Picante.
Listen,
it was a vibe.
We should not have been having this conversation on a desk. This should have been a couch conversation.
Listen to me.
Right?
Yes.
Too tight. No, anyway.
With drinks and sips.
Yes, yes,
Drinksing
yes,
for me,
yes,
of course. Eh?
Drinksing.
Yeah, drinksing for me. But you know, so what? The book is out. When can we get copies?
It will be. I just give social media a little peek in it. It literally is going to be coming out in February, and I did not expect this kind of reaction to that book. Like I say, you know what, people like Tina, because everybody in inbox, this looks like a good read.
Yes.
It's like, yeah, it will be. And I'm talking about that range, eh?
Because I wanted to find out about how persons would have reacted.
My inbox was flooded.
Yes,
people from Trinidad, my friends, like, you know when you go to U.S. in melting pot, so you have friends in Barbados, in Guyana. How do I get in Barbados and Beanie? That's what my friends are.
That is like, because we have things like chapter 5. Yes, we have you waiting outside.
Oh yeah, no shame.
Peacefully outside of another woman's house between 11 p.m. and 8 a.m. Guys,
Full
this
shift.
is not me. Eh?
Full shift.
This is
Full
chapter
shift.
5.
Full shift, my friend and I.
Chapter 5.
And that was funny because I revealed how it happened in the book, and it was so hilarious. It wasn't nothing disrespectful. We hadn't banged on nobody's door. We just sat there. My friend said, "You're tired?" I said, "No." And she, "Well, we camping out." We camped out. So it's like you'll be like, "You did that?" Oh,
Was
yeah,
the mission successful?
Hmm.
We did have to read the book to see.
Don't give it away. Don't give it away.
No problem. So what would be the cost?
Right.
You know, because you know.
So I
this is
wanted
a
it to
book.
be that type of book you could always put on your bookshelf and go back if you need to get motivation. So it's like hardcover. So it's not going to be the 140 or 150, but maybe 200, 275 kind of vibe. Depends on when I have my final costing from the company. But it will be worth it. Start to save $10 a day. Go add up by the time it reaches.
And you know, she giving financial advice, guys, and that was free, eh?
Yeah.
But so you said that we're looking around a cost to something going up around there.
200, yeah.
Where would we be able to get the book? Well, I know you have the bookstore.
Well, yes, and I would see sometimes, you know, people might be looking at this and they'd be like, yeah, I need a book in my store, I need a book in my cafe. So I haven't put that out as yet, but as I'm led, I will work accordingly.
Yeah, and I anticipate in pure Abeni style, you will, you know, hold some nice little reading session.
Oh, yes. A launch.
You know, launch with a nice little cocktail drink in your hand.
It will be nice.
Hors d'oeuvres.
I promise.
You know,
Keep us posted. Eh?
I put something simple on Facebook and on Instagram and look how far it is, like 200 shares. I said, but people sharing this to do, boy.
They like comments.
All I like, so that's okay. That's our culture, and I embrace my culture.
So my question to you is, you mentioned that in Trinidad is a melting pot, but this book seems to mirror that because, you know, there seems to be a lot of spirituality, a lot of, you know, what we would call bacchanal, you know, dung times, law, success, you know. What if you were to name, put on a one-worded name to describe this book, what would that be? Abeni. Oh gosh.
And
literally, that's it.
Because you're Jacqueline of all trades, you're a melting pot yourself.
Yes. Abeni.
So we do look forward to you know, the invitation to your.
No, going and doing the invitation like you're not sure. The invitation.
It's already there. You're invited.
I know you would choose a really good venue.
Yeah, don't pressure me, but yeah.
Later on, later on.
Yes, and you know, probably a year later, we do look forward to seeing this, you know, being probably a stage play or.
Who knows? Might be an element.
That's it, you know. That's it. She go on there.
Yes.
But before, we're in an era where persons like to get a thing on their tablet, their iPad.
Oh yeah, definitely the Kindle version. We call it Kindle version.
All right,
This will be available hopefully through Amazon.
All right, there we go. I wanted to find that out. Yes, so the persons in Barbados, they can
and Guyana,
they can look into that before they get their hard copy. All right, lovely.
Guys, we've been speaking with the legendary, the renowned Abeni Taylor. You know, coming to share with us her debut of a book titled "The Truth About Abeni Taylor." The true story. My apologies. My autobiography. I'm going to thank you for sharing with us and choosing Tobago to be your first platform on which you would, you know, share further about this book. Right? And any parting words, Miss TC?
No, I'm just looking forward to my invitation.
Nice.
You know, that's about it. So thank you again, Abini, and all the best. See you at the launch.
Yes.
I'll see you at the launch. My pleasure.
So guys, this brings us to the end of Youth Wednesdays on the Tobago Updates Morning Show. For all our guests and all our ardent viewers, we want to thank you for joining us this morning. Just remember, we go over to Good Morning Tobago. So just remember to
share the live, share the live, share the live.
Who said the elderly can't have fun too? We're talking good food, proper music, lots of games, and a day at the beach they will never forget. From the time we left the compound at Heavenly Care Home for the Elderly, the vibe was already established. Wheels up and seatbelts on. Watch now, when we touched down in Pigeon Point, everybody was ready for excitement. But before anything could take place, we had to secure bellies. You ever play bingo by the beachside? Well, that was the first activity on the roster, and boy did these seniors have fun. However, others wanted something more physical, so we brought out the ring toss, and not even arthritis could have stopped them. Well, I was blown away at how straight these people were. Are you sure this is a home for the elderly? Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday, but nothing beats the song of Good Steel Pan by the shores while we take a dip in Tobago's finest water. Wait, more food again? This is my type of event. The energy was amazing and nothing short of a blessing. Pick up Heavenly Care Home for the Elderly, because joy doesn't retire, laughter doesn't age, and memories like these last forever.
To a stranger.
Because oncology is an illness that most people think is the end of life, and oh gosh, your family member is dying. There are a lot of support for patients. Therefore, a lot of patients, relatives, friends, and others follow them to clinic. The building that we now exist is really small. We have 6 chairs in the waiting area, and then we cannot accommodate patients and relatives. If it rains, relatives have to find their cars. The sun is too hot, relatives have to find under trees. This situation was untenable. Therefore, the proposed move is welcome. I've been to the place, I've visited. The ambience is good. I know there is some construction to be done to make it fit for purpose at this time. And I do believe and I do feel that move, we will be able to enhance the care in various ways, because then we'll have space. Relatives will be able to come and sit with patients. That kind of intimate support will be there. For me, if I had a no to the move, I would have said yes in 2012, 2013, thereabout, when the population was growing. That is after we had started in 2010, and patients knew that we had services available in Tobago, and they start migrating from Trinidad. Definitely, patients, relatives would be happy. Patients would be happy. Staff would welcome, because the unit is definitely tight. You can't move a wheelchair around the unit. There's one patient toilet. The situation is not good as it is.
About 40 years ago, I got into an accident, and I was a blue. Terrible stuff now. And I had a scar. And I was always conscious of feeling the scar. So one day I felt it a little uncomfortable. And I started a test to check it until I decided to have a checkup. The doctors and the nurses and they were really nice. You could see they were operating under duress. The place was uncomfortable, inadequate, not comfortable to sit for privacy. And you know, but because it's cancer, because you're doing it, and you want the service, you go. If it was for any other reason, you would have looked for somewhere else to go. But they needed, and they need to be approved.
This is where, for instance, if I have to speak to a family about what's going on with a patient, I have to have the patient and all the relatives in this space. it's not really conducive to that sort of conversation, especially if the news is not good. Normally after chemotherapy, we want to see you a week later to see how you're going and check your blood count, and then a lot of times that's a second journey to St. James. A lot of people would just disappear for 3 weeks, and we hope we see them when the next treatment session comes around. It would allow for patients to, one, have a bit more privacy, and even have a relative come and spend some time with them while they're doing their treatment, if the treatment is going on for hours. Having greater privacy would make people at least more at peace to know that, you know, just because I show up at that building, it doesn't necessarily mean that this is what I have. Treatment in a more beautiful environment, a more calming environment, could only make things easier for patients. They're going through enough as it is just with the illness and diagnosis and coming to grips with that.
I'm so happy to know that you are doing something about it, but it's about time.
I want to start by sincerely thanking the members of the Baby Friendly Hospital Initiative for the hard work that you guys have put in place to allow us to have the kind of accreditation that we now have.
These boxes contain essential items for babies, giving every child a good start. Ladies and gentlemen, I am elated to be part of this beneficial move.
So tell me, how will this baby box help you?
It will help in a lot because of the stuff inside of it. For instance, the manual pump.
Yeah.
You could put it in your bag and walk with it. And the bag, you could open it out and put the baby in it to change. So it's a very good idea, and I'm very thankful for it.
Well, I think the baby box in general will benefit all new moms, but for me in particular, I like the aspect of the breast pump because I personally want to breastfeed for a long time. So that's actually my favorite item in the box, but everything else I think will be useful, from the clothes and all the other goodies that was given today.
The box would assist my family and I, first of all, with the basic needs that baby would need. The one thing I'm actually grateful for is the breast pump, because I was about to purchase one. Since I'm exclusively breastfeeding, I want that the father and other family members to be a part of my journey. And I know that this is breastfeeding month. It is, yes it is.
Today's launch and unveiling are steps in the right direction.
We start by the mummies and the daddies giving birth in a baby-friendly facility and send you home with a little bit more support.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host Chanel Felix, and guys, you know, whenever you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have while I ask those questions that you want asked. This morning, we jump straight ahead into our conversation, and I have the privilege this morning of sitting in studio and chatting with the newly minted Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly, the Honorable Farley Chavez Augustine. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Good morning, Tobago. Good to be here.
Good morning. And I want to let Tobago know that you were here and you were waiting and already. And this is this Chief Secretary Farley Augustine 2.0 this morning that we're getting?
It's just a new season. And it's a season, I think, for accelerated transformation. It's a season for moving Tobago to new places, new heights, dizzying new heights. And that, of course, requires even more responsibility on my part. You know, there's a biblical concept that says, to whom much is given, much is expected. But beyond that, when you pray and ask God to enlarge your territory, and He enlarges your territory, it means that you now have enlarged responsibilities. And it can't just be the blessing that you enjoy, but one must appreciate and acknowledge and be accountable for the responsibilities that come along with the blessings.
Understood. Now, jumping straight into it, this new season for you, what does that mean? Specifically seeing that you now have all 15 seats you have gained in the last Tobago House of Assembly elections, having more assemblymen, access to more human resources. Does that mean that frees up some of the things that you were tied to within your last tenure? And now we can see you being more accessible and continuing to be showing up on time and being there and ready to be with the people.
Well, a couple of things. Having all 15 seats is an awesome responsibility. It's awe-inspiring. It has challenges even in that. So I don't want people to think that there exists no challenge that will come upon us because we have won all 15 seats. But winning all 15 seats means that the mandate is even clearer. And not just winning the 15 seats, one must appreciate that essentially our votes remain around the same as it were in 2021. Our drop-off point was just about 600 and something votes based on the numbers that we've had. It means that we have been able to hold the base, and we appreciate that. In government, it means that we now have such a strong mandate that it is hard to deny that this is what the people of Tobago want. It means that for those who said, well, yeah, it was an anomaly, yeah, we were kind of upset with PNM, so we give them a little chance. We're ready to go back to the way things were. They are waking up to realizing, no, not so fast. Tobagonians are insisting that this is what they want. Now that Tobagonians are insisting that this is what they want, what we very much expect is cooperation, collaboration between public officers, private sector, NGOs, civil society, in ensuring that we build out this greatest island on the planet. It means that we have such a clear and strong mandate that we have every opportunity to move with these winds beneath our sails and to get Tobago to where it needs to be. I am a firm believer that Tobago has extremely positive potential. I believe that we have talent, we have capacity, we have intelligence, and I believe that for far too long we have settled for far less than what we are capable of achieving. It means certainly that there has to be transformation in terms of how we think, how we perceive things, and what we want. But we have to take Tobago to a place where perhaps at first some discomfort,
but to the point where we realize that we are attaining something higher than and better than we have ever attained before. But we have to get to that place. It cannot be that we continue to govern the same way we have governed 45 years ago. It has to be Tobago being governed in such a manner that it meets the demands of 2026, that it makes Tobago competitive among all other small island states in the region, and that our people are globally competitive as well.
Understood. During the press conference on Friday, you indicated that because there is no minority in the House, you are putting systems in place to ensure transparency and accountability by allowing the public and even persons who did not vote for your administration to have or play a role in the governance process. How would that structure be built out? What would that look like?
Certainly, I'm glad you asked. On Thursday afternoon at 1:30, we have our first sitting, our first normal meeting of the House. The law says that within 15 days of the swearing in, that there must be a sitting of the House. So we're having that on Thursday afternoon at 1:30 p.m. We didn't want to stretch it out too long. And in that sitting, we will be amending several of our standing orders that will now allow for members of the public to be part and parcel of the operations of the Assembly Legislature. The Assembly Legislature is a place where we go and account for the people's business. And so, for example, we will amend the standing orders to allow persons to submit questions online. And once those questions receive a certain number of votes and they meet the requirements for a question in the House, because of course there are some basic rules that a question can't be slanderous, a question can't infer improper motive, a question, it must be factual. You can't ask a question based on something that is currently in the court. So once we meet those basic rules, the question will actually be asked and answered on the floor. We are also making provisions that members of the public can contribute to the motions and or bills that we debate in the House. We are amending the standing orders to allow that where there is no minority, that a member that is not a member of the Executive Council can in fact chair the Public Accounts Committee. We are amending the standing orders to allow for live broadcast of committee meetings and hearings. Fun fact, the Tobago House of Assembly now does not allow live broadcast of committee hearings in the way you see committees in the National Parliament are live on television. So we are going to make provisions to allow for that. We are also going to make provisions. Well, already yesterday the Senate passed, following what happened in the lower house, amendments to the THA Act. So now the quorum moves from 9 to 12, meaning that 12 members must be in the House at all times in order for a sitting to be legitimate. That's carrying the threshold even higher than it was before. Before it was just 9, which essentially means a minority of the members, the total membership of the House, could actually sit and make decisions for the House. And so that has now changed. The cap on the number of secretaries has changed, so that allows a granular approach to how divisions work. We had a situation where some divisions were just too large. Some divisions were reflective of even 4 or 5 ministries in Trinidad. And so what we want is to have a granular approach so that we can be more efficient in the delivery. And I must pause to thank the Prime Minister, because I made this request of the Prime Minister and the Attorney General essentially last week. As a matter of fact, as the election results were becoming clearer, I sent a WhatsApp message detailing what I would like to have, and the Attorney General that said evening was able to have it placed on the order paper. It was debated essentially Friday gone, passed in the lower house, passed in the Senate yesterday, and now they will send it to the president for it to be assented to. And those changes, 3 changes, it's one, no cap on the number of secretaries. But let me say that I have no intention of making everybody a secretary. 2, that there's a higher quorum for sitting in the House. And thirdly, the language is now gender neutral, meaning you're no longer referring to members as assemblymen or as an assemblyman, but as an assembly member, which means that for our women who are in the House, they are to no longer be referred to as an assemblyman, although they are a woman, which I think is empowering for the women in our society who wants language to reflect their very presence in the House. When the Tobago House of Assembly was going all the way back in 1776 or sometime there, I guess women did not have a role in a Tobago House of Assembly, and that did not quite change in Act 37 of 1980, nor did it change in Act 40 of 1996, but it was changed, and I must express gratitude to the Prime Minister for how swiftly the Cabinet and her government moved on this, which is a signal of their intention to move swiftly on our future proposals for greater autonomy for Tobago.
I'm glad that you touched on that. There was no opposition from the opposition when the bill was passed. The opposition leader, Penelope Beckles, did indicate that you and her had a conversation during the swearing-in ceremony. Does that mean that with greater communication, we can see the opposition supporting bills that are related to Tobago's development, specifically to Tobago's autonomy?
I very much indicate to communicate and have meetings with the opposition leader, with the Prime Minister. We cannot have the bills pass the Parliament without it being passed by a special majority. That means that we need support from the opposition, such a bill. In the past, the PNM Tobago would say, well, go and talk to your friends in the opposition. And of course, they were referring to the UNC at that time. I will talk to my friends on both sides of the aisle. Because at the end of the day, this issue must transcend political parties. We have already acquired a commitment from the government that this is something that they will do in this fiscal year. It's something that was in the blueprint that we intend to see if we could push through changes by the end of this calendar year, 2026. And then we give Tobago some time for us as an island to sit and work out what the structure and the function of the THA will look and feel like. Because I'm adamant that certain things should not be done by the National Parliament. For example, the National Parliament shouldn't determine how many seats there are in Tobago House of Assembly. The National Parliament shouldn't determine the quorum or the number of secretaries. Those things should ideally happen here in Tobago, because you don't want a situation where as the politics evolves, as the population grows, that we now arrive at 100,000 people, we realize we need more seats. Somebody have to beg somebody in Port of Spain to change the law to give us more seats. That should be something we should do on our own accord as a people. That really and truly is what it means to have greater autonomy. That's really and truly what it means to have that right to self-determination. And so I'm grateful for the quick activation by the Prime Minister and the Cabinet, and for the support from the opposition. But certainly the larger piece of legislation will come by the end of the year. The intention is that with the coming on stream of a new division with responsibility for legal and intergovernmental affairs, that division will have legal draftsmen sit and draft a proposed bill that we will bring to the public in Tobago first, for us to haggle over it, ensure it's what we want, and then we send it down to the Parliament for the Cabinet to have passed through the Chief Parliamentary Council's office and for them to do the necessary reviews and to take it to Parliament for a vote and to give the necessary constitutional change. So those are the steps we will essentially take, and we're hoping that we could get to that place by the end of this calendar year 2026.
But even before the Tobago Autonomy Bill is passed, as you indicated, there are a number of plans that you have put out there in the public through this blueprint that you said is integrated into that
strategic development
pathway for Tobago. And these are things that are going to happen in the short and medium term. You announced a number of things on the campaign trail. You spoke about the minimum wage moving to $5,500, $500 for new mothers, and Tobago going green. How soon can we see these things actually being implemented into the system?
We have started the process for many of these things, not most, but many of these things. So, for example, we have already gone to the place of beginning to institute a task force to treat with us going green and our green policy and treating with climate resilience. So, we have a task force working already on matters of productivity, and also doing the necessary HR audit and ensuring that we can put people in the right place. I could tell Tobagonians that as we are going through, we are seeing that we have BOAs, BOA 1s and so on, who might have degrees, masters, but you have been a clerk in accounts for forever. And you went and you studied another degree and nobody sees you. You're not getting to move anywhere. We're looking at how we can effortlessly reduce the underemployment and move people into the rightful places based on training and expertise. We have already begin formulating the policy and getting the system in place so TRHA can provide the necessary data for the mothers and the children as they are born at the hospital, so that we can quickly begin the dispensing of that grant. And that's in addition to there being policies for community nurseries centers to allow for proper child care in the earliest age. That's in addition to also looking at that trust fund idea. That's in addition to us having necessary skills and training, and including training in parenting and all of those things. So we are anxious to get going. Of course, a lot of things will hinge on the full executive being formed. Yesterday, the President's office indicated that they are looking at Monday morning for the swearing in of secretaries right here in Tobago. And so we're working out the logistics of that as we speak. And as soon as the logistics are finalized, the public will know, of course, that will be broadcasted live. So the public can look forward to seeing that. And once secretaries are assigned, I will then speak to the public about to which divisions I'm assigning the secretaries and how we have realigned the government to ensure it fits in line with the strategic development pathway that is to take us all the way to 2045 and to ensure that we achieve the ultimate goal of the greatest island on the planet.
Understood. Well, when we come back, we're going to touch a bit on those secretarial appointments. Sure. But we're going to take a quick break right here, and we'll be back after this. See you soon.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise.
Yes, you come in. Long time I see you. This station complete. Ready for children party. Mommy! Jay, you can't go nowhere with these children. And you know you can't depend on Kevin neither Steven to see about them. Yeah, total waste. So I supposed to stay home whole time? Jada is 12. She could see about them. You just leave Jada to see about Kia and Kayla? I thought it's your mother or your sister. Who? Them always busy. Jada could handle that. She cooking and cleaning a long time. And the next two better know what time it is. It's only me, you know. I will talk to my mother. She just home these days. She will make sure the children okay. Alright. Let me see the moves for later.
Before you ramage, make sure the children are okay. Call 996 to report all child abuse now. A message from the Children's Authority of Trinidad and Tobago.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Spring. Contact 49 Swift 4979 438.
Our world is filled with rhythm. Rhythm that's unapologetic, infectious, timeless. Rhythm is commitment in action. It's how we show up for each other with unrelenting support that goes the distance. Rhythm lives in the tiny beats of our most intimate moments and the seismic roars of our biggest achievements. Rhythm is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the rhythm back. At Flow, we understand your rhythm because we live it. That's why we're dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You're at the heart of everything we do, and our commitment is to keep your rhythm flowing, no matter what.
So guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. What you're seeing on our screen there is the traffic that's flowing from a Wilson Road traffic light straight to Bishop's High School. And this morning we're seeing a relatively smooth flow of traffic there on the highway. And what you're seeing is the Pentecostal Light and Life area on the highway there. And there is a bit of a slow build-up happening going eastbound into Scarborough. So if you are getting into Scarborough this morning and you're coming down the Claude Noel Highway, we recommend that you take that Spring Garden traffic light and go down into Scarborough. That way, if you're trying to really get away from the traffic this morning, there's always that bit of pile-up happening by the Bishop's walkover. We know on a morning during this time, there's a bit of a pile up there. So you see it on our screen. If you are trying to get away from that traffic and you're heading into Scarborough, we highly, highly recommend that you take the traffic light by the gas station there at Spring Garden and make your way into Scarborough. So that's what we're seeing there. A steady movement going to west. So if you are heading westbound, there's a steady flow of traffic there. So you should have no problems getting to your destination this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, we jump right back into our conversation. And again, we are chatting with the newly minted Chief Secretary.
And can we continue on the traffic? Because this morning I took the route through Lambo, or the old road as we call it, as we call it. But this speaks to one of the reasons why in the blueprint we spoke about how we're going to manage traffic, how we're going to manage the interchanges to allow for a free flow of traffic out of Scarborough and into Scarborough, because this will continue to accelerate. It will get worse over time. More and more people are buying vehicles, especially as vehicles become more affordable or attainable rather, not necessarily affordable. And given the change in policy when it comes to foreign use cars, that will increase. So we have to do some future planning. That interchange that's been proposed from where that is, Sanctuary, going across the highway and so on, that is absolutely needed. Sometimes on mornings, the traffic coming from north, and I know you tend to show east to west to east, but I would hope that sometimes you will catch the traffic coming out from north, which is coming out from by way Masses there, coming out from the Mason Hall Government House Road. Some of that traffic piles up from Rockleyville traffic light all the way back for a good distance. So it's something that we have to look at and make some investments in if we are to keep Scarborough as a breathable city, a walkable city, a traffic-friendly city, a people-friendly city. We will certainly need to do some adjustments in terms of traffic management and have the necessary infrastructure. But just looking at these shots, isn't Tobago beautiful?
Excellent. I was about to say the same thing. And I'm glad that we got some assistance with the traffic report this morning from the Chief Secretary. I
think I could get a little higher walking.
Correct. Correct. Well, we want to jump straight into those secretarial appointments. Everyone is sitting at the edge of their seats waiting to hear who is going where. You indicated that you have no intention of making everyone secretary, but you also stated during the campaign trail while you was picking nominees that no district belongs to any person. No one owns a seat. Is it the same for the division? Can you say that no one owns a division?
I can say confidently no one owns a division. And let me be clear, not making everyone a secretary does not mean that everyone on the team doesn't have the capacity to be a secretary. We had the most stringent, the most robust, the most hectic, the most complex screening process in order to determine the candidates. And so what I am confident is that I have a team of 15 that anyone could be a secretary. But we have to be mindful of budget. We have to be mindful of efficiency. And we're not trying to spread ourselves too thin, but at the same time, we're going for a granular approach. And yes, when I say no one owns a division, it means that one might be a secretary of a particular division in the last term, but it may just be a secretary of a different division in this term. I'm confident that people will serve where they are placed, and that people will serve well where they are placed. I am also instituting our own performance appraisal mechanism to judge and assess how secretaries are performing, because at the end of the day, you and the public will judge me based on how the entire team performs. I must then hold the entire team to account to the extent that they perform. And when I say perform, I mean that I expect performance notwithstanding challenges that will arise, notwithstanding systemic flaws that exist, and looking at how secretaries are able to get past these challenges and yet be able to deliver to the people of Tobago.
Understood. Can you give us any hints? Can you tell us anything that we can look forward to? I mean, there are individuals who persons are just expecting to be placed in certain places. You know, for me particularly, I could say I'm expecting to see Dr. Faith go back to health. I'm expecting to see Natisha go back to food security. So can you confirm or deny any of these suspicions?
I would simply say that your expectations may lead to you being surprised. Okay. As I said, we have teams, we have people that are quite multifaceted. We have people who have 2 and 3 degrees in different areas. We have people who have worked in 2 and 3 different places. We have people who just have good management skills. At the end of the day, a secretary is called to have good management skills, not even to necessarily be a subject matter expert in the area that they are leading, but to have good management skills. And I'll just give an example. I placed then Assistant Secretary Kerr across our settlement. Kerr never worked in projects, in engineering. I don't know if Kerr ever built a house himself, or even worked in public utilities. I know Kerr as a teacher. Kerr taught my wife in primary school. Kerr was a teacher colleague. He taught at Roxburgh Secondary, where I taught at Speyside High. That's all I know for Kerr. But look at Kerr's role in terms of how we manage some of our public utilities. How that simple project of how he rejuvenated the bus sheds and start getting in terms of efficiency for public transport. So in other words, what is really required for a secretary is the management skills.
He was also the tutor rep for Tobago.
He was the tutor rep.
So
one would think that
the only
thing he should really do is education.
Right.
But the truth is, once you are a good manager of people, of assets, of resources, of time, of talents, then you will do well in any division, notwithstanding the level of expertise. I am certainly not an expert in every area, but there is hardly a question that can be asked of me of any of the 33 plus areas in the 5th schedule that I cannot fluently, in the most articulate manner, share with you what the government's position is and what needs to happen based on what Tobagonians have been saying to us they want. So it really calls for people to become conversant with the area and to be good managers of people, good managers of resources, good managers of time, good managers of talents, and being able to bring all of those things together for the benefit of the people of Tobago.
Understood. Social media has been abuzz with questions as it pertains to the appointment of councillors that we saw happening last week. We saw the return of Councillor Petala Roberts, and we saw
two new councillors
being appointed as well. Persons were saying, okay, because there's a legal unit being built out in the THA, they can understand the appointment of a legal professional. But persons are questioning the appointment of Mr. Franklin, saying, this is your friend. Did you put your friend before other possible persons? Because you indicated that there were other persons that were being considered. You transparently said Abby Taylor as well as Natasha second. So what would have been the reason for choosing him in terms of his expertise over these women?
Well, one, I believe that there must be parity when it comes to a geographical spread. I will not be Chief Secretary of Tobago and have the opportunity to appoint 3 councillors, and all 3 councillors come from Tobago West. It will not happen ever once I am Chief Secretary. Secondly, the authority to appoint councillors rests solely with the Chief Secretary, and it does not require my consultation with anybody else. I make that decision. Thirdly, Mr. Franklin is coming to the table with much more experience in community work than many people on the team I now lead, who are even elected members, who has been more involved in youth work, been more involved in community sports, been involved in community development work, much more than many others. Mr. Franklin's training and expertise really rests in mechanical engineering, but I brought him to the team for what he possessed beyond that, beyond what he knows in mechanical engineering, particularly the fact that Mr. Franklin might be one of the best trained when it comes to electric cars operations on the island, barring none. I'm not just saying that because it's somebody I know well. I'm saying that because I'm very much aware of his training and expertise in that regard. But beyond that, what he brings to the table in terms of community development, community work, experience in working with young people, I think was needed on the team. In addition to which, I felt like one of the counselors must come from someone who still operates in the East. I'm not talking about living in the East. I'm talking about whose life work exists in Tobago East, deep Tobago East, because it can't be that we have a situation where every time we form a government, that all the councillors come from the West. The last time around, the councillor from the East was Mr. Orlando Kerr from the East. So it's consistent with how I have selected councillorships.
Understood. And touching back a bit on the secretarial appointments, can you, I know you don't want to let too much out before Monday, but can you tell us how many divisions we might see moving from the number that we have now? What are the plans in terms of that expansion to ensure parity between the different areas that need focus on? And would there be new structures within the division? For example, might a sport unit be moved from community development and placed under another division? Can you tell us anything about that?
Right, sure. So my intention at this point is Chief Secretary, Deputy Chief Secretary, and to not go beyond 11 other secretaries. Yes, there will be some structural shifts. Sorry, as I said, we are looking at the strategic development pathway, and we are looking at how we can align the divisions to meet the pathway's expectations and what we have to achieve between now and 2045. So that will indeed result in some shifts. Beyond what you will see happen in legal, I can tell you that there will be a brand new standalone division that will have responsibility for planning, strategic planning and development. So that has not happened before. Previously, that would just be a department under the Office of the Chief Secretary. But we're talking about a standalone division that treats with everything from PRDI to spatial planning, to town and country planning, to looking at how communities are structured, to looking at our very large projects or mega projects on island and having those planned, looking at some of our strategic investments or pull for investments on the island as well. So that's another new division that you will see. Certainly what will happen is that immediately after appointing the secretaries, I will speak to Tobagonians and detail those divisions and detail who will be placed where. It's important to understand that the president does not appoint one to a division. The president only gives the instrument of appointment as a secretary. That's it. It's the chief secretary's full prerogative without needing to go to the president to do it, to assign these secretaries when appointed and assistant secretaries when appointed to whichever division he deems necessary for the deliveries that are required.
Understood. Well, we're going to take a quick break right here, and we'll be back with much more conversation after this. We'll be touching on a number of topics. Hopefully we have sufficient time talking a bit about, teachers, their salary, and when can teachers see that being implemented, and what is the role of the Tobago People's Party moving forward after this 15-0 victory. Guys, I'll see you soon after this break.
People strong and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are people in the sun, we are beaches, we are
Our world is filled with rhythm. Rhythm that's unapologetic, infectious, timeless. Rhythm is commitment in action. It's how we show up for each other with unrelenting support that goes the distance. Rhythm lives in the tiny beats of our most intimate moments and the seismic roars of our biggest achievements. Rhythm is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the rhythm back. At Flow, we understand your rhythm because we live it. That's why we're dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You're at the heart of everything we do, and our commitment is to keep your rhythm flowing, no matter what.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Tobago updates. What you're seeing there is the traffic on the Claude Noel Highway, but you're looking at the Rockley Vale traffic light. As you see, a smooth flow of traffic, and that could tell you that persons are already in work and at school. So the highway is a bit clear. So if you are traversing, whether you're going eastbound or westbound, the roads are clear by now. So we get back into our conversation and we round up our discussions this morning. Unfortunately, we don't have enough time to ask all the questions that we want to ask, but we want to touch on a couple quick topics. Sure. The teachers. Yesterday, a new tutor representative for Tobago has been installed, and one of those key issues has been teachers receiving that new salary that was negotiated last year. Can you see yourself meeting with teachers with the tutor Tobago officer soon to discuss the topic? What can you tell them in terms of your advocacy at the central government level for Tobago teachers? And in addition to that, Tobago is expecting a new cargo vessel in the Blue Wave Harmony. How soon can we see that being here in Tobago?
In terms of teachers, of course, that's a matter between the CPO, the union, and the Ministry of Finance. Certainly, the advocacy will happen through our members of parliament, East and West. I want to congratulate the new Tutor Tobago rep. I think he will do a fantastic job. He's needed in this space, and certainly meetings will happen. As a matter of fact, I can tell you Friday this week, I'm not sure, I'll have to check and see if there's a tutor rep there, but Friday this week, the Division of Education is meeting with PTSC, because we're discussing the MOU and how we can finally clean up the operations for the maxi taxis that transport our school students and ensure that's a much more efficient process, so the drivers are not paid late and all of that, and that the monitoring is happening efficiently. But we welcome the new tutor rep, and the incoming Secretary of Education will certainly be happy to meet with him and to work with him. With regards to Blue Wave Harmony, I mean, we have just been having blue waves all around, but the Blue Wave Harmony, we were told sometime yesterday or so that he was expecting the country by tomorrow afternoon. I am now advised that it's just passing Barbados as we speak, and is expected in the port of Port of Spain by 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. There is a team on the port in Scarborough today. They have already done their checks in Port of Spain, but there's a team on the port in Scarborough today to ensure that the port here is ready and that all of the mechanics and logistics are in place to receive that vessel. I want to thank Minister Julian John for her push. When she came in June last year and met with the stakeholders were very clear in what they wanted, and she tried to go above and beyond the scope provided by the stakeholders. So, for example, we can expect a vessel with much more than five cabins available to the truckers. Trucking is an important profession. In some countries, truckers have limitations in the number of hours they can drive and all of that. You don't want a trucker that's trying to bring goods up on the boat, make a quick turnaround, catch back the boat, go back to Port of Spain and repeat, not having the opportunity to rest efficiently. So having a cleaner, much more modern interior vessel will reduce the stress intake for our truckers and those who use that facility, and of course it will be able to accommodate much more passengers. So for those who prefer to take the late night sailing from Tobago and get into Port of Spain, as we say, 4-day morning, and be able to do work and then take a vessel back at 4 p.m. and be back in Tobago, only missing 1 day of work, that helps with our productivity on island. So we really commend the government for its move, but it's expected in the country by 8 a.m. tomorrow thereabouts, and certainly I am looking forward to seeing the vessel. I promised Minister John that I will come to Port of Spain and I will sail up on the vessel. So I will take the long sailing up. So I'm not going to just take their word for it that it's a good vessel, but I will want to utilize it just to ensure that my people are getting what they justly deserve. And again, I must say thanks to Minister John and the Prime Minister and the Cabinet for what they have put in terms of that vessel and how quickly they moved. And of course, our MPs that double down on the advocacy there in Port of Spain.
Understood. And even as we wrap up this discussion this morning, we want to end on a note of the Tobago People's Party. What is the future of the party given this 15-0 victory? There has been chattering in the space about a possible restructuring of the party's constitution. Is there any merit to those conversations? Well, and if so, why is it that after this victory
I don't know that the constitution is going to be restructured. As it is now, the constitution we have facilitates democracy at the highest level. We're confident in that, and there is a process for amending the constitution, and that process will have to be followed if some so desire. There should be, I believe, elections this year and next year, because we have a sort of two-tier system in terms of how we change out the executive. And certainly one can look forward to that and look at what that will result in. But I believe we have a strong party. We are young. We are certainly not a very old party, but we are a work in progress, and we are working towards building out the best, the strongest, the most democratic political institution in the entire Caribbean. That is our objective. And so we'll keep building, building and refining. We do have committed members of the executive, committed party members. We have some disciplined members, some indisciplined members, but that comes with the territory. But we're working with our people. This is Tobago people's party. It's a party that belongs to the people of Tobago at the end of the day. And I'm so happy that I'm part of a political institution that I am not the owner of. That the symbol is not registered in my name, is not belonging to me. That the constitution says that the party says that the symbol and all intellectual property belonging to the party does not belong to any individual, but that it belongs to the people of Tobago. I am so happy that I'm a part of that kind of institution, and more so, I'm a part of a political institution that was birthed right here at Shaw Park, Scarborough, Tobago. This was not birthed in any fancy house anywhere in Port of Spain. That our headquarters is not in Port of Spain or in Central or South Trinidad, but it's in Tobago. It's an indigenous political institution that for the very first time in the 45 years we have had a modern Tobago House of Assembly, we have an assembly with 0 PNM in it. I want you to pay attention to that. For the first time in the history of the modern THA, we have a THA with 0 PNM in it. All rooted out by the TPP. And it is very much my objective, for as long as I have health and strength and God gives me the opportunity to lead on this island, to ensure that if anything, other indigenous parties will pop up. But we really and truly should have a political space where the only contenders are indigenous political parties. No implants from Trinidad whatsoever. And then we know that we're truly ready for this thing called autonomy. I think Tobagonians with this resounding victory, for which I'm extremely thankful for, and you can look out for our Thanksgiving service and us giving thanks through praise and worship to God on Saturday evening. The youngsters in the party are insistent on doing a victory on Sunday, so that will come after the Thanksgiving. But I think most important for me, certainly as political leader, is that we give thanks to God, and that will happen on Saturday evening. Look out for all the notices and come out and participate. Have safe fun for those who will wish to participate in the activities on Sunday during the day. Have safe fun. And let's continue to work hand in hand in building out the greatest little island on the planet. One more piece of update I must absolutely give. This came to my attention yesterday evening. Up to after 1 this morning, I was having a conversation with the Prime Minister about it. The Trinidad and Tobago is expecting an official visit from Her Excellency Nora Al-Kabi, which is Minister of State at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the United Arab Emirates. And the UAE has a large contingent of ministers and public officers that will be visiting the country from Friday. And the government, and again I'm thanking the Prime Minister and the Cabinet for deciding to do this. The government is allowing and asking Tobago to be hosts on Sunday to the contingent. Of course, you may have seen Minister Jillian John traveling the world, trying to attract foreign direct investment for the country. They are returning the visit to Trinidad and Tobago, but they're also coming to Tobago. And certainly they will receive the best of Tobago hospitality. They will see if there is anything in Tobago that is worthy of their investment. And certainly I want Tobagonians to know this. So certainly when you see the Chief Secretary of Government officials with what will obviously be visitors, you know what's happening, and you don't think that there's anything nefarious that's happening. Right. And we are grateful that Tobago is part of the plans. And that's one of the reasons why I'm rushing out to, because we'll have significant security measures to put in place. We will also have to have this schedule done down to the 2nd. And of course, we'll have to work everything out from ensuring it tastes some good Tobago sweet hand and seeing the best of the island in the day that they have here in Tobago.
Understood. Well, we know that you're rushing and you have to head out, and we look forward to presentations regarding that marina for Tobago and hopefully getting the funding needed for those other projects that will announce specifically Tobago going green.
Yes.
And hoping that we can implement some of those strategies being used within the UEA. And finally, getting access to those foreign direct investments.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we have come to the end of our discussion here this morning, and we are going to release the Chief Secretary. As he's indicated, it's a totally new season. I call it Chief Secretary 2.0, and he's definitely going to be on time this morning for his next meeting. So again, we want to thank you for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you so much for your likes, your shares and comments, and all that you have been doing and continue to do to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Again, I am Chanel Felix, and have a wonderful day.
It's a brand